Ferrari may have left the Austrian Grand Prix with a podium finish and a return to second in the championship, but not everything was as smooth as they'd like you to believe. Another tense radio exchange between Lewis Hamilton and the Ferrari pit wall hinted at deeper frustrations simmering beneath the surface. Here's what you need to know. Lewis Hamilton may have brought home a solid result at the Austrian Grand Prix, but behind the scenes it was far from smooth sailing. Starting fourth on the grid for the 2025 Austrian Grand Prix, Hamilton committed to Ferrari's preferred strategy classic two-stop plan, but with just 20 laps remaining, things got fiery. Ferrari called him in for his final stop, but Hamilton wasn't convinced. What followed was a tense back-and-forth over team radio as the seven-time world champion questioned the call, clearly suggesting he had a different idea in mind. Off the line, Hamilton got a strong launch, holding his position through a chaotic opening lap that saw Kimi Antonelli and Max Verstappen come together. As the dust settled, a McLaren surged into the distance while the red cars of Charles Leclerc and Hamilton locked into P3 and P4. Hamilton's first pit stop came within a few laps of both Leclerc and the McLaren duo, and by lap 45, he was comfortably cruising in fourth. Leclerc was 7 seconds ahead, while George Russell in fifth trailed by more than 20 seconds, a safe buffer for Hamilton. When he pitted again, he was bumped up to P3, but Ferrari almost immediately asked him to box. Hamilton pushed back, saying his tires still felt strong and questioning whether his lap times were really dropping. Ferrari countered with a data-driven call, insisting the stop would guarantee the fastest overall race time. Still, Hamilton wasn't buying it, and the radio waves lit up with resistance. The interaction played out as follows. LH, is my pace really bad? Because the tires are fine. Rah. We box now for the fastest optimal race. LH, the tires are okay. Can I extend? How many more laps left? Rah. Box. 20 laps left. LH, I don't want to stop. 20 laps left? In the end, Hamilton relented and dove into the pits, following Ferrari's strategy despite his earlier resistance. But when he rejoined the race, he found himself in no man's land, P4, too far behind Charles Leclerc to mount a challenge and comfortably ahead of George Russell, with little action in sight. This wasn't the first time Ferrari's strategy calls have stirred tension. Just a few races ago in Canada, Charles Leclerc was left fuming when his push for a one-stop strategy was overruled by the team in favor of a two-stop. And in Miami, it was Hamilton's turn to challenge the pit wall, demanding the team instruct Leclerc to move aside, feeling he had the pace to push forward. The seven-time world champion also admitted he was really struggling with the balance of his SF25 throughout the 70-lap race in Spielberg. What looked like a steady drive from the outside was, in reality, a constant battle with handling issues and lingering brake problems. There were, however, some encouraging signs for Ferrari at the Austrian Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc returned to the podium, and Lewis Hamilton matched his best result of the season. While the team still faces a steep uphill battle, there's no denying that some momentum, however, slight is beginning to shift. For Hamilton, it marked a repeat of his strong drive in Imola, where he also finished P4. But even with Ferrari showing a touch more pace, the seven-time world champion's performance was once again hampered by a familiar enemy, brake issues. The standout moment of Hamilton's afternoon came right at the start when he reclaimed his position from former teammate George Russell after briefly losing it at turn 1. The 40-year-old described the move as pretty awesome, a rare bright spot before his Ferrari's performance began to fade as the laps wore on. Speaking to the media, Hamilton said, "Great start, a great battle with George from turn 1 through turn 3 all the way to turn 6, managed to hold on to it on the outside, which is pretty awesome. After that, the car didn't feel too bad. I was able to hold on for a second, but then I was really struggling with the balance, and we had brake issues." Hamilton eventually crossed the line 9 seconds behind his teammate, Charles Leclerc. After the race, he opened up about the persistent problems he was juggling, particularly the brake issues that were bleeding away precious pace. Despite switching to Ferrari this season, Lewis Hamilton is still wrestling with demons that refuse to fade. With the transition from Mercedes' carbon industry brake system to Ferrari's Brembo setup, Lewis Hamilton admits he's still struggling to feel at one with his new machinery. He explained that the change hasn't yet become second nature, and it's costing him valuable time on track. "I'm having to manage these brakes really early on, which is definitely losing some time," the British driver said. "That's something I'm really pushing to get fixed because that's not great." Beyond the braking issues, Hamilton also pointed out he was grappling with the car's overall balance throughout the race. He's been increasingly vocal in recent outings about the challenge of adapting to Ferrari's Brembo brakes after spending over a decade getting accustomed to Mercedes' different feel. At one point, he even likened the inconsistency to playing the lottery. We roll the dice, and you put one set of brakes on and it works. And you put another on and it doesn't, he added. Hamilton also revealed he's inching closer to adopting Charles Leclerc's setup philosophy. While he's not entirely comfortable with the extra oversteer it brings, he's open to exploring what works if it means stepping outside of his comfort zone. Set up even closer to Charles? Yeah, he said. He drives a massively oversteering car, somehow slides the rear so it doesn't have degradation. When I slide the rear, I get massive degradation. It's definitely something I think you have to get used to. Supposedly, it took Carlos a couple of years to get used to. I don't want to do that. While this weekend marked a noticeable step forward for Lewis Hamilton, he's still trailing teammate Charles Leclerc in outright pace. Fact he's been refreshingly honest about. Hamilton admits he's still losing significant time compared to the Monegasque driver. Still, there's reason to be optimistic. With a stronger result now under his belt and visible signs of progress, the 7-time world champion will head to his home race at Silverstone with a smile and maybe even a bit of momentum. I think we've moved forwards. The upgrade was quite small, so we didn't really know. They didn't even mention any time because it was that small, but I think perhaps it was a bigger result from putting the floor on. That's the real positive. It's pretty great to see the team bringing the upgrade, he continued. We've moved forwards. We've been the second fastest this weekend. Third and fourth is a real positive. There's lots of good things to take from the weekend, and there's lots of areas to focus on. Qualifying was better. We found a problem that I had in my last qualifying lap, which cost me a 10th. There was some issue on the car, so that's again a positive result. But I would have gone backwards if I had started second, so I've got to find race pace. That's key. But the question remains, is Ferrari's recent success simply masking unresolved issues within the team? You tell me in the comment section down below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.